Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. Part of a permaculture way of life is meeting your own needs as much as you can by growing your own food. And part of this is making sure you harvest foods when they're ready and store it for other times when they're not growing well in your gardens. At the moment, it's early summer, but my summer veg haven't kicked in yet and they're still weeks or even months away because it's been quite cool. But there's still plenty to harvest in the garden. So today I thought I'd show you what I'm harvesting. Well, first up, I've got some Chioggia beetroot that I'm going to harvest. They're growing in my soon-to-be tomato patch, so this tomato will take over. So I'm going to move these out the way and I'm going to pickle these, which will keep them really nice until winter. These beetroot are a beautiful little pink and white striped beetroot, so they look beautiful and they taste really lovely too. I'm going to try and leave these little beetroot in the ground a little bit longer because they'll be fine just there. Next up, I've got some lettuce that I can take. If I leave these ones any longer, they're probably going to go to seed, so I'm going to grab them today. I've got a couple of cabbages ready. One's this lovely red cabbage and I've got another green cabbage. I'll just pull off the outer leaves and I usually throw some of that to the chickens along with any of the little critters that are often harbouring in organic produce. Just across the garden from my my red cabbage is this beautiful green cabbage, which is starting to get eaten by little grubs. Now that it's summer, they're starting to kick in. So I'm going to harvest this one before it too is eaten. Again, remove all the outer leaves and leave it all here. Look at those little guys. Starting to go to town on my beautiful cabbage. I just sneakily get in there. Bit of a wash and it's perfect. Right next to another lovely cabbage, which I might make some sauerkraut with, I've got a little cauliflower. It's not looking great, but it's been in the ground for some time. It just didn't grow that well. But that little cauliflower will still be great in a stir fry, so I'm going to take it before it goes to seed. There you go. My snow peas are just about finished. It's all yellowing off, but there's still a few that I can grab to be a nice side dish or go into a stir fry. So I'm just going to quickly go through this plant and get what's left. All right, that's not many, but enough for a meal for me. Now for my peas that I pod, I'm determined to get lots into the freezer this year. So it's just about picking them regularly and just getting the job done. I've been grabbing my peas a little bit earlier than probably I should because I am finding that mice are getting into them. See right here, those ones have been eaten by mice. So I'm kind of tending towards grabbing them a bit early. Here's today's haul of peas, which I just have to take to the kitchen to pod. All that's left in the front garden now to harvest is some spinach. We've had mostly cool weather, which is why it's growing well, but we've had a couple of warm days, so they've actually started to bolt. So I'm going to take all of these plants and put them in the freezer. So I'm just going to cut off the whole plant right at the base. I'm out in the kitchen garden now, and the next harvest to do is my blueberries, which are hiding under these nettings, which do a great job of keeping the birds off and making sure that there's plenty for me to harvest. I seem to manage to get myself enough blueberries to last the year. It does take a little bit of time to harvest all your berries, but well and truly worth it. Sometimes it's a bit hard to tell between the ones that are nice and ripe, and often the little ones with a bit of pink on them look quite ripe, but they all taste pretty good. I need to make a little frame to put over these so that it doesn't impact so much on the shrub, but I haven't done it yet. Okay, blueberries done. Not a full jar today because it's been quite cool lately, but we've got some warm weather coming, so plenty more blueberries to harvest. Now on to the boysenberries. All right, there's plenty there to harvest today, so let's get on with it. I like to harvest the boysenberries when they're fairly dark, sort of around that colour, and their little calyx is really starting to die off. That's how I know that they're ready to go. Some of these are a little bit past it. That one is already. These three here are just about perfect. It's hard to time it so that they're absolutely perfect straight off the vine because they do drop off if you leave them too long. The berries hide really well in amongst the vines, so you do have to go searching, which often means getting subjected to lots of prickles. This one here is just about to fall off. It's perfectly ripe and it just falls right off into your hand. Beautiful. Now I usually have my basket lined with some sort of cloth. I usually use some old tea towels, just so it's easier to get out of the basket and you don't have to actually squash them to get them out. You can just lift that cloth up, but it also helps keep your basket nice and clean. Just remembered one last harvest. Up on my swale I've got some rhubarb, which is getting a bit blown around by the wind today actually. But I'm going to just grab some of this. This might be nice roasted up with some of my boysenberries. Well, that's today's harvest. It takes a bit of time to harvest all of the food, but I've still got to head into the kitchen and process it so nothing goes to waste. It's all part of providing for yourself and making sure that your efforts aren't wasted. If you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.